Leaving Cert History students, let's run through the British line of succession and how it relates to the War of the Three Kings. So my 6 years just started studying the Apprentice Boys Derry. They don't need to kind of know this off or anything like that. It's outside the time frame. I just think it's important to maybe understand kind of some of the key players that are involved in this conflict that the Apprentice Boys commemorate every year. So if we start off with kind of a familiar name. So after Elizabeth I died, she had no children, so the throne went to King James I of England. He was also King of Scotland, and he was a Protestant. Okay, when he died, the throne went to his son, who became King Charles I of England, and he was also Protestant. He was actually charged with treason and beheaded, and the monarchy was dissolved for a little while. And when it came back again, the throne went not to his eldest child, who was a girl. It went to his eldest son, who became Charles II of England. Charles II of England was Protestant for most of his life, but he kind of did like a deathbed conversion to Catholicism, which is why I have a little yellow square there. Charles had no heirs to pass the throne on to. So it went to his brother, who was James II of England. He was a devout Catholic convert, okay? James and his first wife had a number of children, one of whom was Mary, all right? Now, if we go back over here, so James's sister, okay, was Mary, the Princess Royal. She married William II, who was a Dutchman. He was Prince of Orange, okay, and they were all Protestant as well, okay? William was a Calvinist. William and Mary had one child together, okay, who was William III of England eventually. He's also known as William of Orange. He's also known as King Billy. William II actually died, I think it was 8 days before this William was born, but anyway. So Mary and William, they have this William, okay. William goes on and marries his first cousin, James's daughter, okay. So what happens is James, like we said, is Catholic. A lot of people were unhappy about that. And so William and Mary, they overthrow Mary's father. They overthrow William's father-in-law. And because our family tree is more of a circle, along with being William's father-in-law, he's also his uncle, okay? So William and Mary, they overthrow James. James kind of heads off to France, spends the rest of his life in exile in France, and he becomes King William III of England, and she becomes Queen Mary II of England, and they become joint monarchs, joint sovereigns. And like I said, again, sometimes you'll see William called King Billy. If you're kind of hearing about William of Orange, it's this guy as well, okay? Oh, so final thing I probably should have said, if we're wondering where our three kings come from. This is one king, this is another king, and James was actually helped by the King of France, so that's where our third king comes in. Okay, so again, this detail, it's not something you're going to need to know for Leaving Cert. It's outside the time frame of the case study about the Apprentice Boys. I just think it can get a little bit confusing because we have our whole family tree or a whole family circle, and yet we've two Jameses, two Charles, two Williams, two Marys. So hopefully this simplifies it a little bit. Commemoration is an incredibly important aspect of a unionist identity in Northern Ireland, and a lot of the loyal orders, such as the Orange Order, what they are commemorating is this Protestant victory over this Catholic king. Sometimes they are commemorating like this war in itself, so the victory of, you know, William III over James II, or it could just be an aspect of this conflict that they're commemorating, such as the Apprentice Boys who commemorate the Siege of Derry. But again, part of this wider conflict of this Protestant victory over this Catholic.